I am Vinatha. I am from Chennai, India, and I live in Madrid, Spain. So, when I came to Madrid in March 2007, I did not speak any Spanish, so I couldn't teach my dance classes. However, a couple of years later, when my colloquial Spanish became more or less okay, I started teaching dance. And for this purpose, I was renting out spaces and studios from all over the city of Madrid on an hourly basis. And of course, my dance community grew, and I wanted a space where I could promote different forms of Indian dance and Indian culture. And I was very lucky because I was collaborating with a fellow artist from Punjab who was living here in Madrid, Jasvinder Singh. And together we created a space called Espacio India, which was basically a dance studio to promote all kinds of Indian dance forms, from Bharatanatyam to Bollywood to Bhangra to Kuttir, which is from the streets of South India. So yeah, we were not only doing our dance classes, but we were also using the space to create new pieces for choreography, right? For rehearsals. I have a YouTube channel, and I didn't just need a space to create things. I also needed a space to rehearse with my dancers and of course make the videos. So it was great. Espacio India was born, and the motivational idea behind it was to create a great studio where people can connect to each other and connect to Indian culture through dance. So this was the idea behind it. We started off as a small space in the center of Madrid, in the historic center. It's called Calle Arenal, a very beautiful space. From there, we've moved close to the river in Madrid, and it's much bigger now. It's almost 170 square meters. So it's great because we have a lot of students who come and they learn the different Indian dance forms. Recently, we also started with yoga classes. So it's great. I love my space. I feel so much at home. Every time I create, every time I rehearse, I spend a lot of time over there. So this is almost like home to me. And yeah, we love Espacio India. If you ever come to Madrid, Spain, please do visit us. Before I explain what Bollynaline is, it's kind of important to explain my story to you guys. I came to Madrid in March 2007 to pursue my PhD in molecular biology. I'm a scientist and professor by profession. However, I'm also a professional dancer because I have been trained in Bharatanatyam and Carnatic music right from the time I was 4, and later on in Western dance forms. And every time I stop and I think I have to choose between science and dance, I always had an issue, because I couldn't get to choose. Both are equally important to me. Both are my passions. I love science and I love dance. So I decided that I have to do something to connect both. And that's how Bollynaline was born. Bollynaline is an educational program that strives to promote wellness, cultural awareness, and English through dance. So Bolly comes from Bollywood and Nalin comes from adrenaline, which is a hormone that is secreted every time you are in a situation of emergency or when you perform extreme sports. This is what makes your heart beat very fast, right? So that's how Bollynaline was born. Bolly from Bollywood, Nalin from adrenaline. So the question is that when I started teaching dance classes, the one question that I always used to ask my students is, how does this make you feel? And how come your adherence to dance classes is much higher than your adherence to any other fitness routine, like, for example, running or going to the gym, right? I mean, let's be honest, all of us, I think when we get into a gym, the first 2-3 months, we're very regular, you're hyped, and then gradually your adherence decreases, right? Your motivational level goes down. However, in my dance classes, I have people who are consistent. Every academic year, they come. And some of them have been with me for like 7-8 years. So the question is, dance is an amazing aerobic exercise, right? You burn a lot of calories. And however, the adherence to dance as a fitness routine is much higher than the adherence to, let's say, a gym, right? And what actually promotes this? This was my question. When I started looking into scientific literature, I was absolutely amazed by all the things that I learned about dance being an exercise, but also about how dance can be used as a therapy, because we have creative arts therapy associations, especially in United States, where dance is a form of accessory therapy, especially for neurodegenerative disorders like Parkinson's, or even when, you have cancer and you're slowly recovering with chemotherapy. Dance is used as an accessory tool to help you cope with the stress and the anxiety and the anger. Sometimes it has been prescribed as a great tool to combat depression. So there was so much information, and I'm just going to summarize it for you guys. Basically, Bollynaline is going to promote many things about dance, about it being a great aerobic exercise without you realizing you're burning those calories, because it's so much fun. Number 2, releases endorphins, makes you feel amazing. That's how we promote wellness through dance. You feel good, right? Social well-being. This is one of the factors why people come more to a dance class as opposed to going to a gym, because you're with people, right? There's team building involved. Number 4, it's not just a physical exercise. When you go running, you can think about anything. But when you're dancing, you're only thinking about the routine, right? Going through the steps, going through the choreography, executing, coordinating different parts of your brain to move different parts of your body according to the beat, the rhythm. So it's not just a physical exercise, it's also a mental exercise, which is why it has been used as one of the accessory therapeutic tools to combat neurodegeneration during the aging process. So from all of these concepts, and especially because the program is in English, right? I had 3 main sectors where I could work, and I have the corporate sector, where we can use choreography and Bollywood dance as a form to promote team building. And then you have the educational sector, public and private schools, colleges, universities, where we can use dance as an educational program to promote the biological effects behind why you feel good when you dance and why it can be a great form of exercise. And of course, the third sector, which is a little bit more difficult to get into, the health institutions where you can use dance as therapy. Okay, so these were the 3 main sectors where I wanted to work. I have worked in the corporate sector, but the response has been amazing from the educational institutions. Kids love it. They love the gym practice, but they also love dancing. And especially because, they're working with their classmates, and it's amazing how kids respond to extremely difficult dance routines. They actually pick it up really, really fast. And especially in Spanish-speaking schools, you can use this as an indirect way to promote English, right? Because here in Spain, let's say that there is a generalized problem with learning English. There are a lot of barriers. And using a fun, practical activity, to promote the language is an amazing approach. And it has worked very, very well. And of course, getting people interested in the science behind dance. Usually when you give a talk about biology and then you give a dance class, the response is completely different. But here you're combining both, right? You're combining science to promote dance as a way of keeping fit and keeping active. So the response has been amazing. I was recently contacted by the Spanish Ministry of Science and Education to impart an official teacher training course in order to prepare teachers from primary and secondary schools to use dance not only as a warm-up before other physical activities, but to promote dance as a general way to feel good, okay, for wellness and to promote science and to promote English. So I'm very happy, I'm very honored, and this is a great opportunity. So I'm going to keep working on it, keep getting better, and reaching, hopefully, an international audience with Bollynaline. First of all, I'm going to start by saying I miss India a lot. There is a certain connection and commitment to culture that we have in India, especially to classical dance forms, that is hard to find anywhere else in the world. Especially in Spain, dance is more of a hobby, which I understand. Most people do not pursue it professionally, except of course for my professional dancers who are in the company who take it very seriously. In my dance classes, we mainly use dance as a way to disconnect from the day, from the normal daily routine. Okay. So my classes are usually during the evenings or during the weekends, mainly Bollywood and Kuthar, which is again from South India and a lot of fun. So basically we use it as a fun way to keep exercising and to connect with our classmates and build a choreography. Obviously, they're very interested in learning too. So I have had a very good experience, thank God, till now. All of my students are super committed to class. Most of them maintain their attendance to almost all classes during the month. If you have 4, then they're there in at least 3, which is amazing given the busy schedules of people today and being able to commute a long way to get to my dance studio. I actually have people who are coming into Madrid from Toledo, which is a nearby town, all the way just for my class, and then they get back. So it makes me feel very humbled, right? And makes me take my work very seriously. I also have people in Morocco, a student of mine who continues her regular dance classes in Madrid, through an online blended teaching program. So far, the teaching experience in Madrid has been amazing. People love Indian culture, the music, the stories I tell them, the songs, the expression, the energy, right? There's just so many beautiful things about Bollywood, about Indian dance. It's really, really an exotic experience for them. And I know that most people who get into Indian dance usually they have an addiction to it. And usually they start seeing Bollywood movies, which is also a lot of fun because they're available on Netflix right now, as you know. So yeah, the general experience has been, number one, people are committed and addicted to Bollywood dance once I start teaching them. Number 2, for classical dance forms, I have a set of students who are, my God, they're amazing. You have to meet them sometime because they practice. They even have notes taking down, all the adavis, all the steps. They really take their stuff seriously. It's amazing. The third thing, and this is perhaps the most important thing for me, which is I am demanding of my students, and I always tell them, listen, you have to get better. You have to improve this. You have to improve that. But the most important thing is the fun factor. And we make sure that, yes, you learn, but dance is a hobby and it's a great way to feel good and to connect with your classmates. So it's not so much about just learning and being super strict about it, which is something that I had in India, especially for classical dance. I think it's also important to let go and have some fun and, use dance as a tool to feel happy, feel good. So that's number 3. And maybe the one thing that I have observed here and all over the world, every time I teach, there is a certain amount of impatience. And I think that it's very typical for people who have not been in India, not been trained in India, to think that, within a few months' time, you become an expert, or that, you're going to get it easily the first time I teach it to you. It doesn't work like that. We all know that, right? Any dance form, Indian dance, flamenco, it doesn't matter. There is a certain structure and a framework that we all have to follow, and many years of training and patience and perseverance, and we all still have to keep working on ourselves even when we are professionals. Maybe that's the part that needs to be improved a little bit, because I feel that when new students come to my class, some of them leave saying that it's a little bit too difficult because they imagine Bollywood dance to be easy. I'm not saying that, my choreographies are extremely complicated. I'm just saying that you have to acknowledge the fact that there is a certain amount of time and effort that goes into getting somewhere, especially in dance. So that impatience I have noticed a lot, and thankfully the students who have stuck around, they're not like that. They are very empathetic towards the fact that yes, effectively you need time to be able to achieve any goal and a lot of effort. So that's my experience. Internationally speaking, the response has been great. However, I have to say that I can't say much about these students because most of my international workshops outside Spain have been short duration, like 2 hours or 4 hours max. So there's not much I can say about the students. However, the response has always been amazing. They make me feel, so good. Every time I go to an international workshop, the reception is amazing, and how they respond after the workshop is amazing. They always come up to me, they talk to me, they tell me, they give me their feedback, and it's usually very good feedback. So yeah, the experience so far is amazing, and I'm very lucky to be in Spain and to be able to promote Indian culture and dance all over the world. I think that once Slumdog Millionaire came out, things changed and people started getting to know about India first. Second, Bollywood movies, that the worldwide audience has responded very well, especially over the past 10, 12 years. I've seen a change. When I came here to Madrid the first year, I still had to explain to people that belly dance is very different from Bollywood dance. And then gradually, even today, we have people asking me that question, but gradually we see that that's changing now. Bollywood movies are everywhere. Some of our Bollywood stars are international stars, like Priyanka Chopra, who has really made a mark, Deepika Padukone, and people are getting to know about Bollywood stars, about Bollywood dance, about Bollywood films, and I think it's the globalization. There's a lot of awareness about it. So that's how my students came to my classes, because they've either watched a routine, they've seen a movie, or they've heard about belly dance, which led them to Bollywood dance. And that's how they became interested in all Oriental dance forms. And some people always tell me, I came into a belly dance class, I saw that they were offering Bollywood over here. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to try it. And some people tell me that, after they changed to Bollywood from belly dance, they kind of got addicted to the Bollywood feel of the dance, and they stayed. So what has inspired these girls or these boys to come to my class? Mainly globalization. I think a lot of knowledge is available right now online about Bollywood, about Indian dance forms, classical dance forms, and about the music. So it's been great, thanks to the globalization process. It's been great for all of us who are living abroad and trying to promote Indian culture, because eventually people who want to taste a little bit of this culture or who want to really try Bollywood dance, they end up in our studio. So it's been great for us. How do I describe this? Where do I even start? First of all, let's talk about the good things, and then I'll give you a glimpse of the bad things as well, because I think it's important to be honest in an interview. So the good things about Spain. My experience of living in Spain has been great. I cannot complain. It's been a learning experience for me. I have learned a lot. I've learned Spanish, which is the second most spoken language in the world. So I think it's a big boon to learn a language that is so widely spoken, especially in Latin America. And I'm aware it's also an official language in the Philippines. So overall, that has been a huge advantage for me, learning to speak Spanish. I also have to say that there is one thing about Spain that I absolutely admire, and we do not do this in India. Taking time off, disconnecting, taking a month off for a vacation. The first year I freaked out because I was like, oh my God, like I'm in the middle of my PhD and I just can't disconnect for like 1 month. That doesn't exist in India. I've never been through that. I don't know if anybody does it, but I know that the concept of a vacation in India is non-existent, especially for me. All my summer vacations when I was studying in school or the uni, I always used to go to training programs and summer projects and summer this and summer that. And somehow we always find a way to fill our time. And that doesn't exist in Spain. It's amazing how they take their month of August off. It's just off. Everything is off. Even the train schedules change. The bus schedules change. People learn to disconnect and they learn to enjoy life, to spend time with their loved ones, with their family, which is very important for them. Taking their time to have an elaborate lunch, an elaborate dinner. So they have taught me to enjoy my life, not just live for my work. I'm a workaholic and I work a lot because fortunately my passion is my work. So it's great. But I have to give it to them. They really know how to enjoy life. And that's one thing I have learned from Spain. And the priority between money, success, family, time for yourself. I know that for them, family and time for yourself, the majority, the culture is valuing your time. And that's very important for me. It has been a valuable lesson. I am married to a Spanish man and we have a daughter now who's going to be 3 years old. She's a beautiful mix of Indian and Spanish. So from him, he always puts things in perspective and that's also his mentality, like being easygoing and not be like me. I'm a control freak. I like to have control over everything I'm doing. And he has taught me this important thing, which is to just let go, take it easy. Things will eventually work out and not just stress and worry about everything so much. I think it is also a very common Spanish quality because most of my friends are also like that. Or maybe I am, just the other extreme and they're telling me what everybody knows. I don't know, but this quality that I'm working on and not being obsessed about things, that comes from my husband here, who's taught me to be a little bit more chilled. So these are the good things about Spain. I love the food. I love the weather. If you ever want to visit Spain, this is an amazing place to be a tourist and to experience this culture. I highly recommend it. Please come. On the other side, what do I miss about India that maybe is lacking in Spain? Number one, the community feeling. I'm sure you guys agree with me. You live in a flat, you live in an apartment, and you usually know your neighbors. And when you see each other, you usually talk to each other and there's a certain connection. When you have something missing in your kitchen, you don't feel any inhibition to go there and ask for it. There's a sense of community in India, which is, I don't think it's here in Spain. It depends, of course. Everything is multifactorial. I live in Madrid, in the center of the city, in a huge apartment. So, huge, many floors and a lot of people around. But somehow this sense of community is missing. That's how I feel. Second, I am an educator. I am a professor in the university. And one thing that really catches my attention about the Spanish youth is the lack of ambition. I don't think, again, it's a general thing and there are a lot of people who are sure, I'm very sure they're very ambitious. But this is a general comment because somehow in India, we live in a very competitive country with a lot of people who are fighting for resources, right? So there is this battle that need to be good, to be excellent and to be ambitious and to achieve something. That sense of ambition, that fierce need to really get somewhere, that goal, I don't see it a lot over here. I don't know whether it's because there are no good references. I don't know what the issue is, but I really see that there is an issue with being ambitious. I think people are more laid back. They just like to, as I mentioned before, give themselves time and enjoy life. That's there. But I think that it's so important to be ambitious and to set your targets high so you actually get somewhere, right? For me, the meaning of my life is to keep growing every day, keep evolving, keep learning new things, and really be successful in the true sense. Successful meaning not just money, it's just reaching a target, reaching your objective, and feeling good about yourself and what you're doing. So that sense of ambition I do miss from India. And The third thing about India that I miss a lot is entrepreneurship. I'm an entrepreneurial woman. I love being my own boss, running my own business, managing all of these things on my own. It gives me a sense of integrity, power, whatever you want to call it. It makes me feel good because I am working for myself and my business means everything to me. And here in Spain, the entrepreneurial culture is not as full blown as in India. I know that back home, especially in North India, I'm aware that people are, pushed to set up their own business if they want to. You're not looked down upon because of that. And I think that in general, it's a very business oriented culture. We have a lot of amazing management institutes, IIMs, and a lot of people with very bright minds who want to become entrepreneurs. Again, tying back to my previous point, which is sense of ambition. Not just working for someone, having a fixed day job and getting your pay slip and that's it, and comfortable life, no? That's what most people want in Spain. Again, depends where you are, who you are with. But I see in general, let's say around 70% of the people I know, they prefer having a job which is, comfortable, having a pay slip, and maybe it doesn't make you feel super passionate about what you do, but you're there and you're doing it, you're getting paid for it. So I think that people tend to lean more towards this side. And I really wish that, people were more entrepreneurial and more ambitious when it comes to getting somewhere in your life. So that's something I miss too. So in a nutshell, these are the things that I love about Spain and don't like that much about Spain. But this is home to me. I am very happy living here. And ideally, I would like to do something between India and Spain because both of them are dear to my heart. I miss India a lot. And I think that in my future, I ideally want to be half the year in Spain and half a year in India. This is the dream. Let's see. Spanish dance forms. Let me start by saying that the first 2 years I was here and I could not speak any Spanish, and I really wanted to do something extracurricular apart from my PhD and also get to know people, right? Because it's hard. I was 22 and naive and I didn't speak any Spanish. So you know what I did? I got into a flamenco class. This was how I started getting to know people and learning Spanish and trying to understand how dance classes work in Spain, because I knew I was going to need it in the next couple of years when I wanted to set up my own dance school. So flamenco. I love flamenco. It's got this fire, this passion, and this certain sense of structure, which is amazing because whenever you come from a classical dance background like me, Bharatanatyam, there are a few things that you will always carry with you for the rest of your life. And it doesn't matter what dance style you're trying, you are going to translate those elements and try and put them in whatever dance style you're learning. So in my case, for example, the rhythms, the way you count your rhythms, right? Which is the tal or talam, as we say in Tamil. This is very, very special to me because I know that whatever dance style you put me in, the way I count my rhythms are always going to be coming from the classical background. That's the first thing that amazed me because Bharatanatyam, obviously we dance without shoes, you know that, it's barefoot. But flamenco, you have to dance with heels, and those heels come with nails in the heel. So when I started dancing it and then she started saying tiki taka, that was a little bit like takadimi to me, which is very funny because she was counting in her language, Spanish, and I was counting in my own language. Of course, dance doesn't have any language. It's amazing. You can dance whatever style. You don't need to know the language at all. But then eventually I started exploring all of these dance forms inside flamenco. You have sevillanas, which is more of a party thing, where you dance with a partner always. Then you have all of the individual dance forms, from sad to happy. You have alegría, bulería, solea. So I started experimenting with all the different flavors of flamenco, and of course, the beautiful costumes and the outfits. But one thing that I never could get was the angry face in flamenco. You know that in Bharatanatyam we practice Raudra, which is the angry face. But this is a little bit different. You have to be very intense, very serious when you dance it. And it was very difficult for me because usually in Indian dance forms, especially if you're enjoying your dance routine, you're usually very happy, your face looks very happy. You have a smile on your face, and that's something that I couldn't do. And obviously when my dance classes started taking off and I had my own studio, etc., I had to let go of flamenco because I couldn't, manage my time with my PhD and my dance classes and this and that and YouTube and no time. So I decided that, okay, fine. I'm going to let go of flamenco for a while, but this is a dance style that is so dear to my heart. It has taught me so much, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Other Spanish dance forms, of course, I've done intensive courses in many different Latin dance styles. I love salsa. I love tango, argentino, from Argentina, and cha-cha-cha. So these are all dance styles I know are highly popular in India for obvious reasons. It's so much fun, and usually you have a partner to dance with. It makes it very social. So yes, I've tried all of those, but I think flamenco has to be my favorite. Let me start off by saying that Indian languages are extremely difficult compared to Spanish. Okay, let's start from there. Because I learned Tamil, I learned English, I know a little bit of Hindi, I learned French in school. And when I started speaking Spanish, for starters, you don't have to learn to write, read, and pronounce separately. All of them, they go into the same pack, okay? So learning Spanish for Indian people, I find, is very easy. I think that the pronunciation is also good for us because we have a lot of difficult syllables in Hindi, in Tamil, in Sanskrit, right? So learning Spanish is going to be easy if you put your time and your effort and you practice every day. It's a cakewalk, okay? Trust me. I love speaking languages and learning them. And I have to say that the first 2 years when I started speaking Spanish, I was like, wow. I mean, in French, you have to learn the pronunciation, learn to write, So that structure I already had. And using that structure, we started building Spanish on top. And in Spanish, you just read everything as it's written. As long as you know the alphabet, it's very easy to read. So that was a huge plus, and I think that people who are genuinely interested in learning Spanish, it'll be fine, especially for Indians. Latin dance forms, come on, our culture, we have 8 different recognized classical dance styles. We have so many folk dance forms, and to add to all of that, as you say, we have started training in all of these urban dance styles. I see amazing content on YouTube from India. So, we've got a little bit of everything, right? All kinds of dance styles in India today. And the Latin dance styles, I know they're very popular. I know a lot of my friends back home who do salsa. So, I'm sure that if you train, this is a great way to not only keep active, but also, convert it into a social activity, as I said before. So yes, if you're given the time, the exposure, you put your effort in, you train, you can speak Spanish and you can dance Latin dance forms. Okay guys, so that brings us to the end of this interview. I hope to be in India soon and to possibly make this interview in person someday. And from my side, I just wanted to say, keep dancing, be happy, and take care. Bye.